I am Jeffrey Road Kohut. This is my Potter's Journal for December now, 2024. Today we're going to turn away from the pottery to the farm's wreath making workshop. Now this one on the door is way too big for the door. We're going to make something smaller today. We're going to make a swag. Something that would be suitable more to a lamppost, mailbox, fence posts. Maybe fence posts going all the way down your driveway. I'm going to show a very simple method to do this, something that would work if you're a farm, a business, a florist, or if you're a homeowner and you do want to put one on every fence post down your driveway or on all the front porch posts. Okay, let's see what's going on in the Rooster Hill Farm Wreath Studio today. And I don't use anything to hold my swags together, not a special frame like you see here, only the cone. The wire on the cone holds it together in one place and the wire on the bow in another. We'll get to that, but first, let's gather the greens. Okay, this is the first of the greens I'm going to cut. This is Abby's Grandies, the Grand Fir, one of the more intensely fragrant silvery backsides, a deep limey green on the top. Also, it fills in almost completely full. The only thing is very flat, very one-dimensional, so we'll use some other things to maybe bulk it up if you're a business. They might think they're getting cheated if it's not thick or full enough. Okay, and here we have the Abby's Intermedii, the Canaan fir. This is the West Virginia fir. I'm from Pittsburgh. This is what grows the best here. Because it grows the best here, sometimes there are big spaces in between the branches. Whereas the first one we cut, the Grand Fir, more from the West Coast, Oregon, Washington, grows very slow, very thrifty, and because it doesn't grow well here, the branches come out relatively full looking. But this will help bulk it up. The first one is the one that filled it out. Let's get some more yet. If I remember right, this is Pinus sylvestris. This is the white pine. We're going to use it to add texture with the long, soft needles. I use this a lot in garland and in making a large Advent wreath that I will show you at the end. So I am going to strip an entire half of this tree on the ladder and then gather it in crates. Now in past videos you've seen me cut down and try or mature trees for the greens. I maintain a 2 to 3 acre greens orchard. Some of these plants can come right from your yard. Now here's one, the Eastern Red Cedar. People pick it up this time of year and go, oh, the fragrance. What I don't think they know is that this is Juniperus virginiana. This is a juniper. You can get this out of your front yard, probably. And the rest of the year, most people say, oh, it's jaggy. I'm not planting that in my garden. So how about that? At the nursery, they say, no way. And at Christmas, oh, the fragrance. And now if you can get it with the berries on, all the better. Seems to need to be grown under some stress. So in the mountains in West Virginia and Virginia, and I grow some in containers, putting it under some stress to get the berries here. Another plant to give some color the Chamaecyparis, maybe also found in your garden. Okay, now they do make a frame. A clamp frame that you can make these out of, but available really only to growers because you can only get them by the case. My secret is, and this is the secret of mine, the simplicity of mine, they are held together with two wires. One wire that's holding the bow together, and another wire that holds the cone together. And okay, can you see that? Okay, so I put the wire around the cone and get the ends even and twist it on there, and this will be the secret to holding it together. Okay, so the first greens we grab are the largest, the Canadian fir, about 3 of these. This will give it the body. This is what will bulk it up. And then the grand fir, and this fills it out. Okay, and then for some added texture, we bring in the white pine. Okay, so, and actually the, okay, we're not really going to see the bulk, the background. It's really what makes the backbone of the wreath is this, and we're not going to see much of that, but if you cut them at the right sizes, you will have a layer of one and another, one texture showing off the other. The red cedar, okay, we'll make a spike, and we're only going to need 2 of these because we don't want to hide the white pine completely. So it'll make a spike down the center, and the Chamaecyparis is what will give it the extra zip or zing. Now in this case, the berries on the blue, okay, I think that would just hide too much and a bit too much of a contrast. Okay, putting it together, we take the wire, okay, the 2 pieces of it, and take it down through the center, okay, of the swag. Okay, and okay, I think usually I will come down first with my hand and find the center of each swag. Now for many of each branch. For many years I did this with blue spruce because I had it, and it made a very full swag pretty much on its own with nothing added to it. Outdoors, now spruce has a reputation for not lasting inside. Outside it lasted the whole year. So once we found the 2 sides of the branch, it's easier to push the wire down through and give it a flip, and the 2 ends, okay, pull them very tight, very, very tight, and give them a twirl, then give them 3 twirls. I'll take the 2 ends and then make a loop and twirl it again, so we will have something to hang them from. Okay, come back, straighten out the cone. Now that's not enough to hold it together in the winds of winter. If you're going to take it out to the cemetery, put it on your lamp post, we need another wire to hold it again, and this time it'll be on the bow. Now, all kind of options there. I know here at the farm, okay, these plaid bows help to sell the pieces. If you're doing this for your mailbox, okay, and once again, just a matter of taking the wire around and catching the branches and, okay, pulling very tight together and giving it a twist. Now, one type of green would be enough if you're putting this on a mailbox or on a fence post the whole way up your driveway. One kind of green and really a very large bow would catch the attention from a distance. But here I'm using a moderate-sized bow because this would be more for close-up, for on a lamppost or where you're going to see it close by. And we want all the colors to show. So we've got the cone, we've got the Chamaecyparis, the juniper, okay, red cedar, and then we've got the white pine, different textures playing off color against texture, and the grand fir. The Fraser, in this instance, we really lost. If I had longer branches, could have come down to here. Okay, and the ribbons, the bows, I've done that in another video. I have probably about half a dozen or more videos now on wreath making, from large to small, mixed green. I will show here at the end, I've got a very large Advent wreath, over 5 foot, so I haven't done that yet in a video, nor garland. Now the SWAGS, I've done long, thin ones, which few people really liked. For the lamp posts, I've done them out of the blue spruce, but it is very jaggy, but does make a beautiful swag. And I've done also very large ones, almost the size of a grave's blanket. Grave blanket, relatively expensive item, so the swag, giant swag, could help bring down the price. I'll have to do a grave swag sometime, and the garland yet in a video here yet to come. You know, in addition to doing these, if it is for a florist or another business, a nursery, in addition to doing this for yourself or the whole way down your driveway on the fence posts, they make great gifts too. Maybe we'll give this one away here today. And here on the bench is the largest wreath we make. This is well over 5 foot. It's an Advent wreath. We use white pine that hangs down, so creates maybe a medieval, Victorian, wild Christmas look to it. Okay, and just so you have some point of reference, the candles go in the frame on the outside. We put some cans and bottles here to give you reference to the size. I've shown this one in my videos several times, but never the making.
Wow, is that for me?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I usually have to wait till Christmas Eve.
Oh.
To see if there's one left. Oh, it's beautiful. And I don't even have to wait. Thank you. And it has different colored greens in it.
Okay, stop back and see what's going on in the Rooster Hill Farm wreath making studio next year.
Hey, puppy. Hey, Brutus. Yeah, my boy. My best boy. Were you looking for something? Oh, you find your squeaker that doesn't squeak. You don't even care about me. Oh, does it squeak?